Hello, welcome to the
Volontaires Parlement.
Sans plus tarder, la parole au rapporteur.
Et on va discuter le futur de l'Europe.
Ah bah maintenant, c'est l'interview.
Hello everyone, this is Wonder Parliament, the radio program about the political and social reality in the European Parliament of Strasbourg from Radio WNE. I am Sara Núñez from Spain, Ani from Armenia, she is
Lizi from Georgia.
We are volunteers from the European Solidarity Corps, and this is Wonder Parliament. We are honored to talk about the LGBTQ community with the Spanish member of the European Parliament. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, for sure. I'm Diana Riba, an MEP from Catalonia, and I'm working in the Solidarity Corps issues too, and in the CAL committee, in the Gender Equality Committee. I'm coordinator for the Green CIFA and LIBE committee and all the other topics that we have in front of this mandate.
Thank you for being here with us, and good evening, Madame Riba I Giner. How to guarantee the presence of equality for the LGBT community?
It's a difficult question because we have a lot and important work in front of us. As you know, we need to work and push for all the rights in this community in all Europe. But in the same time, there are member states who are working to going down in the rights of this LGBTQ plus community. That means that we are fighting to do one step, but in the same time, there are member states who have a less work in this topic.
Yes, and following that, given the fact that European Union is such a broad alliance, I mean, there are countries where LGBT rights are taken for granted, and there are countries like Hungary and Poland where it's harder for LGBT people to even exist. And I wanted to ask you about the law in Hungary that was introduced not that long time ago, and what can be done in those countries to protect LGBT people there and LGBT children. Like, can you give us your opinion on that?
Yeah, as you say in the question, there are Hungary and Poland that we have a lot of problems to increase the rights of the community of LGBTQ+. And the European institutions have to work to have all the rights in all Europe and all the member states to guarantee these rights. And that means that not only in the directive that concrete work for this community, in all the directives that are transversal, we have to put the rights of this community inside. That means that if we are working, for example, in this moment, we are in the trialogues of the directive of gender-based violence. Our group are working to have amendments inside of this directive to go for the protection of the rights of this community.
Yes, and I would follow up with that. Like, what do you think is the line? Like, Hungary and Poland, they are sovereign states. And what can European Union as an institution can do to improve the situation in those countries? Because there are sovereign countries, and like, what is the line? Like, to what point can we interfere in these in the interior business of these countries? Like, on such topics as LGBT and yeah.
I think you make the key of the question is inside the line. Where is the line, and inside the issues of these member states? As member of the European Parliament, we cannot talk about this is my issue of the member state, and you cannot talk about that. No, the European institutions and the European Parliament make directives and laws for all the member states. And we can talk about what is happening in one member state. For sure, it's the member state who have to provide these laws inside this member state. But it's an European topic. We don't want to talk about a topic of the member state. It's like when the member state put on the table the national issues or the national security to talk about spyware. No, sorry, it's an issue of the European Parliament.
Thank you for your answer. And in the same year as this parliament declared the European Union as zone of freedom for LGBT people, how exactly can this initiative help? and how can this freedom be graduated?
It's an important movement when we proclamate these LGBTIQ plus zones free of, because it means that we are pushing on this topic and the freedom of this all the humans in Europe to be that they want, and it's important to have these free zones that there are in Poland too, because it's target. It's an important symbol that we are working for the laws too, for this movement too, and to protect the rights of this collective.
Thank you for your answer, Madam Sara. In May 2023, a photo exhibition was held Parliament, image with LGBT perspective made by the Swedish artist Elisabeth Olsson. Exhibited in Brussels, generated rejecting MEPs from Italy, Poland and Spain, who called it blasphemous and disrespectful. What is your position on this?
En mayo de 2023 hubo una exhibición de fotos que fue llevada a cabo en el Parlamento y tenía una perspectiva desde el colectivo LGTB. Fue llevada a cabo por la artista Elisabeth Olsson, exhibidas en Bruselas, y generaron un cierto rechazo por parte de miembros del Parlamento Europeo, de Polonia, Italia y también de España, que lo llamaron, cito literalmente, blasfemia y disrespectful. Si no, bueno, imagino que ya sabrás, pero bueno, por si acaso esta es la imagen. Te pregunta, what's your opinion, what's your position?
Our opinion and my opinion, and it's not only of this exhibition about LGBTQ+ and this perspective, it's about the freedom of expression of all the artists in Europe. We see, and in this case we saw too, that this right of the freedom of expression in the artists, in the cult sector, are not guaranteed. And we are really worried in this aspect. In the cult committee, we are working a lot on that too, because in the end, when you touch a right of one collective, normally goes with the problem in another ones, and the freedom of expression is going down in Europe, and we have to take care on that, and for sure of the collective too. But this question, it's a question of which, if there are freedom of expression in the artists in Europe or not, and I think we have to take care and really to push to denounce these declarations. And you say 3 of the countries that we have more problems now in this LGBTQ+ collective: Italy, Meloni, Poland, and now in Spain. Perhaps not all Spain, but we have reasons to think in these places that Vox, the extreme right, are in the government, and the PP that goes to the extreme right, like in Madrid. We see cases really with a lot of problems in this collective.
And following the context of this year that you have told us, there has been a recent cut from the president of the Community of Madrid, Díaz Ayuso, in Spain, affecting the trans laws and going against the LGBTQ community. So how can this be possible in a margin where recent improvements were approved less than a year ago by Irene Montero?
I think there are not possibility to do it. I don't know if it's a big campaign of this politician talking only about the issues that they want to happen, but there are an important law in Madrid, and if in Madrid, in all the member states, there are laws in Europe, and if this Ayuso start to push in another direction, we will see what's happened, what the reaction of the government, because the laws are for all the citizens and not for one city yes and another no. And the law of the yes, or yeah, the solo CSC in Spain and the other laws of this community are really clear. And we will see in the fact what is doing in the future Ayuso. But we hope that the justice system in Spain stop the things that are saying Ayuso.
And if we situate ourselves in the position of there's no justice and there is no intervention, what will be the consequences?
We are working for the justice, have work in these cases. If not, we have to be there, all of us, the politicians too, to push it and to make a big denounce on that.
Okay, thank you so much.
And can I follow up with like the trans right movements? The trans athletes is a big topic, huge topic in our modern day society, and I wanted to ask you particularly about trans athletes and trans people in sports. How to guarantee equal playground for cisgendered people and trans people, for them to be like an equal playground and not to exclude trans people? Because, for example, if someone is transitioned from male to female and wants to compete against a female, there may be some disadvantage that a female athlete can find herself in. And what do you think can be like an answer to this issue that is growing and that is becoming more and more important and relevant in our society? And how to guarantee all the rights for trans people and the rights to everyone else involved?
It's a topic that we don't have answer, because depends of the point that you are looking this situation. You have one answer or another, but for sure in the next years we have to find a solution on that, and will be depends if you talk about the first level of the sport. I don't know, the first level, it's not a good word. The maximum of the sport, if you are talking about the Olympic Games, what is happening, and you have another perspective that is the scholar or the first step, scholarships, the first step that we are involved like humans in the sport. And perhaps we have to find another way of the competitions, not men and females, or we have to find another, I don't know, but it's so complex, because we know that the bodies are different, but for sure the objective is that all of us, if you are a woman, if you are men, or you are different, or you don't have a gender, or you are trans, have to be the right to be involved in all the steps of the sport.
In this same order, and specifically in order of the Transgender Awareness Week that is going this week from the 20 to the 25 of November, how can the institutions intervene to implement a reinforcement in advance of this law? En el orden de la Semana por la Conciencia de las Personas Transgénero, que se desarrolla esta semana, del 20 al 25 de noviembre, ¿cómo las instituciones pueden intervenir desde todas las instituciones? Puedes decirme desde el caso español o desde el Parlamento Europeo, para poder reforzar el avance de estas leyes.
Okay, the first thing that have to do the institutions is to push it to have more laws for the rights of this collective. And laws means the transition, the way that all the education, the sanitary systems take a look of this process and of these humans, and these weeks are so important because push us, all of us, all the institutions and all the members, all the community, to take a look on that. And then we have to see which steps we have in front of, which possibilities we have in the next directives or in the next, for example, the next objectives of the Commission. We finish this mandate in 6 weeks. What will happen the next Commission? Which plan which topics wants to put on the table. We have to push it, all the community, for the next commission have important steps in this directive to work on that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your answer. And now we are going with Jean Noël.
Yeah, thank you to let me just ask a question. I'm really sorry. It's not directly related to LGBT issues as you have discussed just that time, but I would like to know your point of view about the Catalonia situation, Catalan situation related to the amnesty law. What could you tell us about that? What is the situation? Is it a way to reunificate Spain, or a way that could be quite complicated in political issues?
I think the first thing that we have to have in mind when we talk about this important amnesty law in Spain is that the amnesty law, all of them are a normal rule, a normal tool in the member states in Europe. Different member states have the amnesties in the constitution, and others don't have in the constitution, but use it in different moments of the story. We have to think that after the Second World, in Europe had been 50 amnesties.
Oh.
Okay? This is not the first. Think that this is the first, and really, no. This is the 51st one amnesty law that approved in Europe after the Second World War. That means that it's a normal rule. Another is that it's constitutional for sure. If not, you cannot put this law in the Congreso and do the next steps that are doing now for this amnesty law. And the third important thing for us is that this law, in this moment, helps for the stability in Spain, and we hope that this law finish with this judiciary conflict that we have in Catalonia. You have to think that in the last 10 years and in the future, we have more than 3,000 persons that are involved in different judicial systems, and for the process, and to put and to vote this 1st of October of 2070. And that means that with this amnesty law, we can stop this repression, we can stop this judicial process of all these thousands of persons, and we can start again to talk of the political conflict. We can start in the same level in both parts to talk about, in the end, the right of Catalonia, of the self-determination. And for all these questions are so important, this amnesty law. Now we have politicians in the exile, we have politicians waiting for a trial that the accusation asks for a lot of years in the jail. We have not this same position, the both parts. We have to stop with all this.
So, in your point of view, it's really important to pacify Spain and to make the whole Spain community reunificate, in fact.
Yeah, I don't know if reunificated, but to start to negotiate about the right of Catalonia for the self-determination. Now we are in a shock of repression when you have one of the part of the politicians, the opposition, the journalists, citizens that are involved in judicial system with a lot of money in the middle, with people in the jail. You cannot talk about the conflict of politicians in politicians, and that means that we are happy to find a solution for stop all this repression in the judicial system, and came back to the politics, that it's a political question. the right of the self-determination of
I
Catalonia.
understand. I'm really pleased with your answer. I think it's another complete subject, and we need much more time.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for your presence, Madame Riba I Giner.
Thank you very much, all of you.
Wonderparlement. In Straatsburg.